This broadcast is partnered by Venice AI. Have you ever thought about what an AI is doing with your chat history? Did you know that Alexa listens in to recommend products and Meta retargets us based on what we click? Most AI platforms like ChatGPT store everything you say and attach it to your identity. They even tend to share it with third parties or other unknown entities. One may ask themselves, why am I handing over my data so easily? That's when today's partners come in. Venice AI. Venice AI prioritizes privacy. It is a private, permissionless AI platform that keeps your data safe. As a creator, I personally use it to brainstorm video ideas, create thumbnails, and also use it to clean up any posts I put on social media. I'm not the best writer, so it's always good to have something to make sure what I write is understood and readable. So if you're ready to level up your experience and keep your privacy intact, you can sign up using my link, venice.ai/Alex, to get 20% off its pro plan. So don't miss out. Level up your AI experience with Venice AI today. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday Night SmackDown had its ups and its downs. We got a John Cena Pipebomb, and we saw the unfortunate loss for one Sami Zayn. Lots of things to get into, and we're gonna talk about it right here in Alyx's World. Hello all, and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you.
What's CM Punk going to say about John Cena Pipebomb tonight on Monday Night Raw?
That is the question that we're all sitting on right now, because that John Cena Pipebomb was incredible. And I get the pleasure, the absolute pleasure of watching people spin themselves into a tailspin, trying to not say bad, trying not to say good things about this promo. Because a lot of the John Cena haters, they've been crapping on this heel run. They've been saying this thing is the worst, absolute garbage run that John Cena has ever had. It's forced. Nobody likes it. Those same people are now turning around and they're saying, oh my God, that promo was amazing. Oh my God, that was one of John Cena's best promos. And I've been the main one up here talking about how awesome this run has been. And I'm going to keep telling it to y'all. I think by the end of it, and I mean by the time John Cena actually retires, they're going to appreciate this a lot more. I guarantee you, by the time John Cena hits his final date and he does go back to being a babyface, all those people saying this was forced will turn around and be like, you know what? That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Because you're mad at the fact that The Rock didn't show up at WrestleMania. And you're taking it out on John Cena. Be mad at The Rock, not John Cena. Because the work he's doing, he is cementing himself as one of, if not the greatest of all time in WWE history. I 1000% adored, loved, absolutely fucking worshipped that promo that John Cena cut, because it was point by point the CM Punk Pipebomb promo, but reenacted his own version of it. And it's incredible to see what he's able to do with this run, the things that he's able to visit. You wouldn't be able to see stuff like this if he was a babyface. You wouldn't have gotten that promo if it was a babyface promo. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You wouldn't have gotten that promo. And I think what we're about to see with this John Cena heel run, ultimately, we're not just going to get moments like this with CM Punk and whoever he revisits before he retires. You're also going to see people like Ron Killings, who is now being called R-Truth again. I guess they got tired of calling him Ron Killings. He's now being called R-Truth. But people like that being established. And we're seeing people like LA Knight starting to climb up the ladder a little bit now. Of course, he's feuding with Seth Rollins in his game. You're also starting to see a little bit of an uptick with the King of the Ring tournament. And I have a lot I want to say about Sami Zayn's loss, and we'll get to that later. But I always say, if you want to know how great a champion was, base it off of the people he elevated. Because if you're a champion, but no one wants your championship, you're not really a great champion. You're only as good as the opponents around you, as the people around you, right? John Cena is doing an excellent job. People won't say that, but I'll say it. I absolutely love this promo, and we will get into it. I'll go bar for bar when we break down the SmackDown review. But let's backtrack a little bit. Before we get to the pipe bomb, we have other things to talk about. Another promo I enjoyed was Fatu and Solo's promo. Jacob Fatu is a natural babyface. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad heel, but this guy is way too cool, way too likable for anybody to hate him. With the right story, you could probably make it work, but he's one of those badass characters that no matter what he does, fans are going to love him. And so you're seeing this storyline where Solo is all of a sudden showing personality, telling Jacob, I brought you in, I can take you out. Apologize to me and tell me that you love me. And you're seeing Jacob stand up to him, lay it down on the line. As in the United States Championship. He laid the United States Championship on the line and told Solo, you want this belt? Come for it. And yes, they're going to have a match at Night of Champions next weekend, where I am expecting we'll get a certain debut from a Hikuleo. Now, I thought we were going to see Hikuleo tonight, but when they announced the United States Championship match, that's where it clicked for me. I'm like, oh, that's where we get the debut. Yeah, Solo has to win the United States Championship here. For this feud to have any legs, you had to give Solo some kind of gold. So he will beat Jacob next week, and he will do it with the help of Hikuleo, and maybe even the return of the ain't nobody realer than Gorilla, the Tungus. Give Solo all that heat. Build him up. And with him showing his personality, I might enjoy this version of him more. I don't even know if I can call him the Tribal Chief, because he's not the Tribal Chief. The Tribal Chief is Roman Reigns. But this version of this Mafia Samoan group, I think I'll enjoy a lot more than what he was when he was serious. So I'm excited about that. I don't know what to say about Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair yet. I was of the opinion they were going to be enemies. They were setting them up to feud with each other. Now I don't know. Now I'm not sure. I'm kind of sitting on the idea now that maybe they're going to be a tag team. Honestly, after seeing Liv Morgan get hurt yet again, we need to burn those women's tag team belts. For real, we need to burn those belts. I don't want anyone else holding those belts. I am fearing for Raquel Rodriguez right now, because them belts are cursed. And Charlotte Flair, look, both Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair have a history of injuries. I would hate for them to win those belts, and the next thing you know, I say that, messing around, but no, we need to burn them belts. And honestly, I would rather them be enemies than be a tag team. I don't like the idea of them becoming a tag team, but I think the reason why they're heading for a tag team run is because, well, Liv got hurt. And they need to get those belts on somebody. For the record, I do see Roxanne Perez stepping into Liv's role. I was going to save that for Raw, because that's my prediction. I think Roxanne's going to step into Liv's role, and I mean all the way step in. She'll be the tag team champ. She'll become Dom's new lover. And then she'll be the main focal point, the main female of the group. And then Liv will come back to see her reaping what she sowed. Everything she did to Rhea, it's now being done to her. But that's another story. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later when it actually happens. Asuka ended up beating Alexa Bliss, as I predicted. The other prediction I got wrong, and we're going to talk about it right here, right now, and that's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn lost to Randy Orton. And I hated it. I absolutely hated seeing Sami Zayn lose to Randy Orton. And let me get this clear. Let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not saying Randy Orton can't win matches like this. I'm not saying he shouldn't have won. Quite frankly, it was anyone's match to win because Cody Rhodes was most likely going to be the one to win this anyways. It feels like the match they want to do at SummerSlam is revisiting WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I don't know if Cody wins the belt there, though. But that's another... We'll get to that when it comes time for it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But in terms of King of the Ring, Sami Zayn, even if he won here, probably wasn't going to win the tournament. That being said, if Cody Rhodes, more than likely, if he's the guy to win the tournament, a better match to do would have been Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes. That had a lot more stake behind it. That had a lot more sizzle behind it than, I'm going to be real with you, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes right now. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton right now, that's not really a match that has a lot of heat behind it. There's history, but I would prefer Randy Orton be a heel taking on Cody Rhodes. I'll take that all day, every day. If they had turned Randy Orton heel here and had him fight Cody Rhodes at King of the Ring, then you know what? I wouldn't be complaining. But the story here with Sami Zayn, him never winning the world title, which he established here on SmackDown, that's a story people are invested in. That's a story that people want to see actually come to fruition. And I'm not saying we can't get back there. I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to get to Sami Zayn and Gunther for SummerSlam. We'll find a way to get there. If they don't do Jey Uso. Who knows? But for me, I felt like Sami Zayn needed this win more than Randy Orton. Randy didn't need this win. Randy Orton doesn't need to win matches like this. He doesn't need to be in the finals. He doesn't need to win King of the Ring. He's Randy freaking Orton. He can lose all of this and then still get a championship match because he's Randy Orton, right? Sami Zayn needed this win. And even if he wasn't going to win the tournament ultimately, a win over Randy Orton would have solidified this idea that Sami Zayn could be a world champion. And so, the more I think about it, the more I don't like this. And the more it just kind of makes me think that they don't really see Sami Zayn as a main event player, which is a huge mistake. I go back to what happened in 2024. No, 2023, excuse me. When he had that feud with Roman Reigns, remember that babyface turn at Rumble? One of the biggest pops I have personally ever seen in my time as a wrestling fan. And the fans were invested in him ending Roman Reigns' long, less than 1,000 days, but long championship run. I remember going into that match at Chamber in Canada saying, you know what? Y'all might need to pull the trigger on this. Now, Sami did win that match. He won by DQ. But he didn't win the title. And instead of staying there, keeping him at that level, what they did the next year in 2024, they moved him down to the mid-cards. Yeah, he ended Gunther's reign, but does anybody remember his IC title run? No. Sami Zayn is a main event player. He's a world title contender. Not an IC title, not a US title, a world title contender. And when he fails to beat Randy Orton, that bothers me. Because he's better than what they paint him as. So we'll see what they do. We'll see where they go with this. Maybe we'll find a way to get him to that match with Gunther somehow, some way. But I really, really got behind this idea, the narrative of Sami Zayn winning the King of the Ring. That's something I thought they should have gone with. And no offense to Cody Rhodes or anybody else, but I always feel like the best option is the one that people least expect, but when they get it, they'll love. Right? Is why I got so invested in the idea of R-Truth ending John Cena's World Championship run. Because no one expects R-Truth to beat John Cena, which is why I think that's why it should happen. And it would be a great moment if you did it. Everyone expects Cody Rhodes to end John Cena's championship run. If we do Cody Rhodes against John Cena for SummerSlam, I'm going to go into that match thinking, well, this is it. I guess Cody's winning the belt back. And a swerve would be if Cody lost again. Because if Cody loses again, if he wins King of the Ring, which I think he will, I do not see Randy Orton beating Cody. That's not going to happen. And here I am expecting Cody to beat Jey Uso. We haven't gone to that route. We haven't even thought about that. The idea that Jey Uso might beat Cody Rhodes on Monday. That would just throw a wrench in everything. That would really throw a wrench in everything. If Jey Uso beat Cody on Monday. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Cody will beat Jey. And then Cody will go on to fight Randy Orton. And then he'll beat Randy Orton. And then we'll do Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. You want to know why? Because Cody pinned John Cena at Money in the Bank. So they already telegraphed everything that's about to happen. They've already telegraphed it. At least with Sami Zayn. Again, it's the Goldberg problem I have. The fact that Goldberg is fighting Gunther for the world title, that makes the match less interesting. Right? It makes the match less interesting because I know Goldberg's not going to beat Gunther for the world title. So he's going to lose. Not saying he can't lose. Of course, the tradition of wrestling is you put people on the way out. He's about to retire. They officially announced it as his retirement match. So he's about to put someone on the way out. He's about to put someone over on the way out. Which I appreciate. That's great. But the narrative, the setup to me doesn't work as well. And so if Cody is the guy to win the tournament, wouldn't it have been better if you had him go up against Sami Zayn, who you could have believably seen beat Cody and still protected Cody on his journey to fighting John Cena? Right? Here, you do Randy and Cody. I'm like, well, Randy just had a match against Cena. You know he's not going to win. And Cody just pinned Cena, so guess who Cena's fighting at SummerSlam? I don't know. I'm not writing the show. It's not my show to write, but it's one of those things where they really missed out on creating a match worth watching. But Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Oh my God, dream match. I'm not saying it's not a dream match, but right now, no. The narrative isn't there. The narrative isn't there for me to be as invested in a Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton match as it would have been if Cody was fighting a heel Randy Orton. You feel me? You feel me on that? Alright, we're going to go ahead and get into this SmackDown episode, but before we do that, we got some bills to pay. Actually, we already paid one bill with Venice AI. But we're going to go ahead and do the preliminary stuff. We're going to say hi to the people, and then we'll do my SmackDown discussion, breakdown. We'll go over the show and just kind of talk about how we all felt. I'll be taking your questions. I'll be taking your thoughts. So in the meantime, talk to me about how you felt about SmackDown. What was your favorite segment? Also, give me your scores. Give me your grades. Like overall scores on SmackDown. And then we'll also talk about some news. We'll get into some wrestling news while we're at it. So thank you all for joining me. You could be anywhere here in the YouTube space. You chose me and I'm grateful for it. So if this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, you're at it! Help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing. Whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review, past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks if you would like to donate after the fact. You can Also, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, just Alex Central. Give me a follow on Instagram, give me a follow on Spotify, give me a follow on Cameo, give me a follow on Threads. Follow us on Discord, follow me on Blue Sky, where the skies are clearer. And give me a follow on TikTok, for I am the tickest of the talkest. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cashapp, Venmo, and yes, Super Chats are officially on you. You can donate at any point in time during the broadcast to get your thoughts played live on the air. Email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries, just to say hi, and get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees and Teespring. Are you a Just Alex guy? Then join the club. Get you an I'm a Just Alex guy t-shirt. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hot out the press! Also, get you an old school Delay X-Men t-shirt, get you a new school Alex's World t-shirt, and many, many more t-shirt designs coming your way. So stay tuned, join the cause, expand the brand today right here in Alex's World. Thank you all so much for joining me for this lovely live stream. I'm trying something different. In case you didn't see my previous live stream, I'm making a concerted effort to get away from reviews. I feel like doing the recap, segment by segment, match by match review format doesn't work for me anymore. It's not something that really brings interest, not just from my audience, but it really doesn't inspire me to make these videos anymore. I just kind of hit a roadblock creatively with these videos, with talking about wrestling. And I just took a step back and just said, I don't want to do reviews. I don't want to give star ratings. I don't want to tell people what's good. I just want to talk about how it makes me feel. And so I haven't quite figured out what that looks like yet for my channel. I'm trying out different ways and different things to do and different ways to approach it. So I'm going to be experimenting. Instead of saying SmackDown review, I'm going to say let's talk WWE SmackDown. Let's talk WWE Night of Champions. Let's talk, let's discuss. We'll play around with it a little bit to see what works for me. And I'll have something probably around, hopefully around by SummerSlam. But yeah, I 1000% feel like it was time for a change. And I hope you guys agree with me on that. So thank you all for being here. Please show your love for the Mod Squad. Ultra! Shine Nice and Fire Star Heart, Elias Ademi, New Japan Pro Wrestling Girl, Khalil does everything. Huh? Wait, Dylan, Danger, Teflon Don, the Mod Father, Zeno, Enigma, and of course, Big MGM, because they help keep this a safe space for wrestling fans like you and like us. Please be sure you like the video. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will be given to be recommended here on YouTube. So boost the algorithm by hitting that like button. Who is here? Who is joining me for this lovely live stream? We got Bonkers LFC, WWE Movie Maker. Do you make movies, dude? Adam Ritter, Game Shock, Trey Licado, the Swerve Show Dog. Did I get that right? The Swerve Show Dog. Devon Standifer, Joseph Winters, Joe Arredondo, Pikachu Black, Aaron Teagle, Shattered Glass 23. Interesting name there. One of our favorites, JJ, who let the dogs out? Who? JJ Bulldog. We also got SD Kai, who says Sami Zayn should win the Rumble. Oh man, we gotta give him something before then. TCM Jack Dempsey. Good to have you here, Mr. Jack Dempsey.
Man, Punk is gonna go scorched earth on Monday.
Ooh, that promo by Punk. I'm gonna be ready for it. The New Age promo, the New Age pipe bomb that we're gonna get. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so goddamn good. And I think for that CM Punk promo to work, if it's gonna be what we think it is, he's gonna have to talk about the fact that, yeah, he is a millionaire. Yeah, he did become the one thing he hates, but he's gonna have to find a way to flip it on John Cena. How he does that, I have no idea. We're going to have to see. Sam Pipebomb, good to have you here. Sean Swaby, baby, good to have you here, Mr. Sean Swaby. Mr. Sean Swaby. On Debit Money. Debit Money Adams. I also see Jesse James. The Road Dog, Jesse James. This is not the Road Dog, but good to have you here. Coldfire XX1. And who's gonna be the last one? I know who should be the last one. They just showed up. Ladies and gentlemen, royalty is in the building. We are in the presence of the premier reaction channel here in the YouTube space. Say hello to A&B Convos Wrestling Edition. Good to have you guys here. Yo, I was there in their chat while John Cena was cutting that promo, and I got to see their reactions. The looks on A&B's faces when John was hitting them lines, they were like, what? They were like, what? Was dun 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 bum bum bum. That's what they were looking like. It was amazing. Yes, it was incredible to watch. And their reactions are always incredible to watch. So thank you all so much for being here. If I don't say your name, please don't be offended. It's not because I hate you. I do want to go ahead and move things along here to what happened on SmackDown. So please get your likes in. Please give me your scores. And let's get to talking on how we felt about this particular episode. So, interestingly enough, when it comes to SmackDown tonight, half of it, I wasn't feeling. The other half, I absolutely adored. But the thing is, it's not like literally half and half. It's like sections, right? So like if I split it into 6 sections, 6. So like first hour has 2, second hour has 2, third hour has 2. There's a half of the first hour I liked, the other half I didn't, and so on and so forth, if I can explain it that way. This SmackDown episode felt disjointed narratively. And I couldn't necessarily pinpoint why, but there was something off about it. Because I couldn't necessarily say it was a bad episode, but I can't say it was good either. Despite that amazing promo that we got at the end. And other stuff that I liked. I think part of the reason why I can't say it was that great of an episode, it's the crowd. They were in Grand Rapids tonight, and you know, it's funny. Grand Rapids kind of mirrored how I felt about this episode. Because there were moments they were really into it. Of course, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, John Cena, CM Punk. They loved that, right? Of course. They're supposed to. But then everybody else, they didn't react to it all. They were pretty dead for. And I think, for me, that's a telltale sign of whether a crowd is good or not. Because any crowd will get behind the goddamn top stars. But if they don't react to the other wrestlers, then I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good crowd to me. So I wasn't really a fan of this audience. Although they sold out the building. I should talk about this really quickly. So apparently, and this was broken. This news was broken earlier this week. SmackDown will be going back to 2 hours after all. I know some time ago we talked about SmackDown staying 3 hours for the foreseeable future. But I think something happened. USA Network just kind of decided, you know what? Maybe that's not a good idea after all. So, yes, on July 4th, which is a Friday. Yes, July 4th is a Friday. There will be a 2-hour episode of SmackDown. That will be taped. It will be a taped 2-hour episode of SmackDown. Following that week, on July 11th, that episode will be live. However, it will not be 2 hours. The next time we see a 2-hour episode of SmackDown that will be live is August 15th. So officially, SmackDown goes back to 2 hours after SummerSlam on August 15th. And I think it will be permanently 2 hours. I think they did 3 hours the first half of the year just to see how it will work. It's now going back to 2 hours permanently on August 15th. Now, I think right now this is the best thing you can do because this show feels way too bloated. Everything just feels all over the place. And yes, more time is good for other wrestlers, but sometimes less is more. It will teach Triple H and hopefully, condition the fans to appreciate the wrestlers when they get them. Because sometimes having more time isn't a good thing. And I said having SmackDown go 3 hours was not going to work. It doesn't work. Raw going 3 hours was not working either. But luckily with Netflix, they have some leeway. If they want to go 2.5 hours, they can. If they want to go 2 hours, they can. If they want to go 3 hours, they can. So they don't have to worry about time when it comes to Netflix. They can go as long as they want, short as they want. But with USA Network, you have to fill out that time space. So I would personally rather for SmackDown, I would rather it just be 2 hours for the roster we have. Right? So let's see what they do. I'm excited to see how it works out when they go back to 2 hours. I think narratively it would work better for everyone. But getting back to this. So they opened up with LA Knight, and they're building this feud between LA Knight, Seth Rollins, and his group. Which, first off, I love. I absolutely adore that we're going to be seeing LA Knight climb into that main event scene. This is how we get him into that main event scene. Although, technically, he's been a main event player because he fought Roman Reigns. But regardless, this is how we establish him as a future world champ. By having him associate with people like Seth Rollins. Having him associate with people like, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and so on and so forth. And the promo itself was good. Of course, letting people know that he's coming for Seth Rollins' neck. Paul Heyman coming out there. That also made me see LA Knight as a main event player. When you associate Paul Heyman with anybody, that instantly elevates that talent. So they're doing the right thing by having him associate with the right people. Of course, Paul Heyman teased that LA Knight would indeed get beat. You will regret not leaving. That's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. And he was right. His spoiler was on point, as always. Because LA Knight did get his ass kicked. Now, skipping ahead, there was a match between LA Knight and Bronson Reed. It ended in a DQ when Braun Breaker did this super spear. What is it called? A super spear? Fine. The 100 mile per hour, not really, but the super speed super spear that looks fucking amazing. Seeing him fly through the air and hit people with. And then, of course, afterwards, we see Bronson Reed do the tsunami! Multiple tsunamis, which I love. Every single time he keeps going up, the crowd gets more and more excited. It's such a babyface thing to do. Anyway, so they laid out LA Knight, really building that heat for his eventual match against Seth Rollins. And I'm wondering, are we going to do this match at Saudi Arabia? Or are we going to do it on Saturday night's main event? I think it might be too soon to do it at Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. And it is called Night of Champions, so it's not going to make much sense to have that match on the card where the theme is Night of Champions, all championship matches except King and Queen of the Ring. But regardless, I think we're going to be building to LA Knight versus Seth Rollins for Night of Champions. Not Night of Champions. Saturday night's main event. I'm getting them mixed up. So we'll see what they do. Saturday night's main event. But yeah, I just love the idea of LA Knight climbing into the main event scene because that just feels right. I think he's done everything he could do with the mid cards. He should be in the main event. He should be wrestling people like John Cena, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns and all of them. That's where it feels he should be. That's just my personal opinion. Asuka had a match against Alexa Bliss, and as we predicted, Asuka won. Now, I'm still going for Jade Cargill to win this tournament. I know Jade Cargill will win her match against Roxanne Perez on Monday. So, Jade Cargill versus Asuka. On paper, that match cooks because you can go either way with that. It's anybody's game to win. If Asuka beats Jade, cool. We do Asuka versus Io Sky. Fuck yeah. I'm not going to say no to that. If Jade Cargill wins, we do Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. Fuck yeah. And then we get Naomi involved with the briefcase. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Either way, it works. See, matches like this, and see, I'm assuming we're going to even be doing Jade Cargill. For all we know, just like with Jey Uso, Roxanne might beat Jade Cargill. Which would suck, by the way. I hope that doesn't happen. Jade needs to win. But either way, like, if we do Jade versus Asuka, I think the person to win that would be Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill would be the one I would go with. And Asuka, whether she wins or loses, you can still do Asuka and Io Sky. Although I think the match they're going to do would probably be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Because the story behind that match, that one has a narrative. Rhea Ripley can't beat Io Sky. That's the narrative. And so now she becomes obsessed with it, and then they use that to build to a match at SummerSlam. So we're probably going to see that rematch. And it's probably going to get very, very dark and bloody, and we'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, Asuka winning here. And she won clean, too. She beat Alexa Bliss clean. That was quite interesting. But getting away from Asuka, let's talk about Alexa Bliss, because they're currently doing something right now with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. At first, it felt like they were building a feud around them. We were mirroring Charlotte's decline with Alexa Bliss's rise, and they were eventually gonna, cross over, and then we would do Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. But now, I feel like there was a pivot somewhere. Maybe that pivot was Liv Morgan getting injured, but there was a pivot, and now it kind of feels like we're not doing Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. Instead, we're going to be doing Charlotte and Alexa as a tag team. Because we go backstage, we see Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is so good. Chelsea Green and her service. The service. And, wait, it's not called the service. The Hervis, right? The Hervis? The Hervis. Alba Fire and Piper Niven. You know what I'm talking about. They're taunting Alexa Bliss. And then Charlotte Flair just comes to her aid. And then, of course, they have the match between Chelsea Green and Charlotte. With, Alexa Bliss coming to make the save. And then Charlotte being like, nope, we're not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not saying you can't make that work, but I really vehemently disagree with this idea that Charlotte should be a babyface right now. Not right now. I don't think fans are ready to accept her as a face yet. I think fans still enjoy booing her, still enjoy giving her a hard time. I don't think teaming her up with Alexa Bliss is going to help anything. I think the best course of action for me is to do Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. That feels like the right way of going about things. But I don't know. Maybe they need a tag team. Or maybe they need to burn those tag team belts. How's about we just burn the goddamn tag team belts? How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Anyways, we'll see what this goes. I'm not feeling it, honestly. But I'm not going to dismiss it either. We'll see where the story leads us. I just don't really feel like this has any weight behind it. I'm not really feeling it whatsoever. I'm just saying. After this, I think we got Aleister Black, who was about to fight one half of the boss, Pretty Deadly. Don't even ask me what his name is. I think it's like Wilson. What is it? Kit Wilson? Something like that? Whatever. Aleister Black is about to come out, and then R-Truth comes out and whips his ass. And I like this because we're protecting Aleister Black in a way where they're not allowing him to look too dominant, but they're not allowing him to look weak either. They're associating him with R-Truth. They're associating him with Damian Priest. They're associating him with very strong upper mid-card main event players to keep him in the conversation of being a main eventer. Just like when they had him go face-to-face with Seth Rollins. It's just little things like that. So, yeah. Ron Killings attacked Kit Wilson. Aleister Black met him backstage and told him, hey, don't do that shit. Don't get involved in my business. My business. And then, of course, Damian Priest came in, and then history between him, Judgment Day, and all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. I'm very interested to see how we get Aleister Black to that main event scene, because that's clearly what they want to do. His path might be a little bit slower, but I'm excited about it anyways. Of course, Damian Priest is being geared up to take on, I think, Jacob Fatu, if not Solo Sikoa, for the United States Championship. But we'll see what they do. I'm also interested to see what they do with Ron Killings, R-Truth. Because clearly, once he's done with John Cena, he's going to need something else to do. Because right now, he's just that... How do I even put it? His whole goal is to give John Cena a hard time. He's a thorn in John Cena's side, clearly. So we'll see where that goes. Nice promo with Cody, Jay, Sami, and Randy. I thought it was hilarious that Cody Rhodes showed up all dressed up, and guess how many words he got to say? 0. He didn't get to say shit in this promo, which I thought was hilarious. He just stood there and watched everyone else talk to him. Because he's gonna win. Anyways. Sami Zayn comes out, he talks. Randy Orton comes out, he talks. Then we do Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Oh, by the way, I gotta say it one time because I like saying it. Jey Uso told our boy Cody Rhodes that on Monday it's gonna be 4 letters, 1 word. Eat. Let's get to it. Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Match was great, by the way. Great match. I thought the chemistry they had was surprisingly well. Well executed. I thought the moments where I thought Sami could have won, I believed them. Like when he countered the second RKO and Sami watched Orton crawl to the corner, I actually was like, oh crap, he's about to beat Randy RKO. Nope. That sucked. I hated that. But yes, Randy Orton does end up beating Sami Zayn. And like I said before at the beginning of the stream, I didn't like this. This was a mistake. I hated the idea of Sami losing to Randy Orton. Because if the idea is for Cody to win, and that's fine. Cody, Cena, SummerSlam, whatever. Wouldn't it have been much more interesting for Cody to fight Sami? Because Sami viably has a storyline that would make sense for him to win King of the Ring. Right? It would make a lot of sense for Sami to win King of the Ring. And so, therefore, if you do Sami and Cody, there's interest there because they can go either way. And that's what makes matches work. Here, because Randy won, you know Cody's going to win. Why? Because Randy already had his match against Cena, and Cody pinned Cena at Money in the Bank. So why would you have Randy all of a sudden beat Cody and then go on to fight Cena again at SummerSlam? Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? I'm asking a question. Who wants to see that? Nobody. So, just like Goldberg and Gunther, we're telegraphing a match that really, with the right storyline, with the right elements in the right place, should be a WrestleMania match. Randy Orton and Cody is a WrestleMania match, and we'll probably still get that match one day, but one of them's got to be a heel. Preferably, Randy Orton should be the heel and Cody should be the babyface, but I don't know. This isn't a match I'm looking forward to. I know that's going to piss a lot of you off, and I know that's going to make you guys go, what are you talking about? It's the same thing with Gunther and Goldberg. I know how it's going to end. I know how it's going to end. And so now I'm just going to be looking forward to, all right, how long does it take for Cody Rhodes to beat Randy Orton? And once he beats Randy Orton, we got a whole month to build to Cody Rhodes and John Cena again. So, yeah, spoiler alert, Cody wins King of the Ring. I really hate that Sami lost here. It would have been a smarter decision to have Sami beat Randy across the board. Because if you're trying to make me think Sami Zayn is a world champion, he's world championship material, what better way to scream that than by having him pin Randy Orton clean? Just straight up clean inside the middle of the ring. That being said, we can still get to Sami Zayn versus Gunther at SummerSlam. There are multiple ways we can do it. Especially if Cody Rhodes ends up winning and then Jade Cargill ends up winning. So SmackDown gets both King and Queen of the Rings this year. So Raw now has to find a way to create opponents for their champions. It's not over with Sami. As long as we get to Sami versus Gunther at SummerSlam, I can forgive this. But man, even if the smarter decision, the one that I would have been more invested in, would have been to see Sami Zayn beat Gunther. So, that's what I would say. We got people in the live chat talking about what if Jey Uso beat Cody. Listen, as much as I would like to see that, Jey ain't beating Cody. That's not happening. Cody is definitely going to be. Here's the thing. You do realize that if Jey beats Cody, that means Cody is not going to be in Saudi Arabia. That's not happening. That's not happening. We already aren't getting Sami Zayn. Well, we might still get Sami Zayn. Sami might end up fighting Karrion Kross. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not too sure anymore. But yeah, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, I guarantee you, they're all going to be on that show. They have to be. They have to be. Otherwise, why are we going? So they basically telegraphed who's going to win without really just saying it. Great match. Orton versus Sami was a great match. I just didn't like the finish. Another thing I don't like, and I'm glad we're ending it next week, this feud between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. I am begging for them to end this. The last women's standing match, honestly, they could have built that up for Evolution. If I'm being honest with you, we could have just done this at Evolution and just put an end to it. But we're doing it next week. So last women's standing match, yes, Tiffany Stratton will beat Nia Jax. What we do with Nia Jax after that, I do not care. I do not care. So, I'm very curious to see who's going to fight Tiffany for Evolution, though. Because if we're doing Jade Cargill versus Tiffany for SummerSlam, someone has to fight Tiffany for Evolution. Who that is, I don't know. Might be Trish Stratus, honestly. But no, I'm not interested in Nia Jax and Tiffany again. Like, this is one of those feuds where I'm just ready for them to be done with it. Nia Jax is just fodder for Tiffany before we get to Naomi cashing in on her. Right? So I'm excited about that. And I think after this is the main event, right? Yeah. No, it's not. Wait. What am I doing? After this is Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Oh, we gotta talk about this. So, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa. This is a match made in heaven. And the dynamics work so well. It's incredible when you think about how interesting Solo Sikoa is now as a TV character than he ever was for the past year or so. I'm being honest with you. The past year since he took over the bloodline, I didn't think he was all that great. They were pushing him as a top heel, but he didn't feel like a top heel. He felt like, honestly, he felt like a villain of the week. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you watch Power Rangers, if you watch the typical superhero weekly shows, you have the villain of the week who always gets their ass kicked. It's same thing. Solo just felt like a long-term villain of the week. He didn't really feel like a top heel. He never really felt like that top heel to me. To me. Maybe different for you, but to me, he didn't. Now he does. Now that Jacob Fatu has come in and he has essentially broken away from him, he's embracing the audience and really growing it to his own as a main event player, the main event player that he will be, that he is, honestly. You feel the shift in the dynamics. You see Solo and Jacob Fatu actually start to show a little bit of chemistry. You start to see a little bit more personality from Solo because there's a story there. And the story is, Jacob Fatu, I brought you in. You owe me everything. If it wasn't for me, you would be nobody, right? And so Jacob is essentially telling him, listen, I don't know what your problem is with me, but it feels like you're jealous. You're jealous because I have something that you don't have, that you never got. Gold. So he threw the bell on the floor and said, if you want this gold, fight me for it. And I think the way that they wanted Solo to be seen, that badass heel that took everything seriously, that just never worked for him. But when Jacob embodies it, oh my God, it fits like a glove. And so now that we've gotten the people in the right roles, now we're cooking with the story. And so they end up fighting, of course. We see, I was going to say Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo. God, I gotta stop saying Jeff Cobb now. Whatever. JC comes out, Jimmy Uso comes out. So now we're actually drawing the battle lines there. We're going to get Hikuleo next Saturday. We're going to get the return of Ain't Nobody Realer Than Gorilla, the Tongas, eventually. Now, who the Tongas side with, I don't know. But we'll see what they do. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. We might even get the Tonga siding with Jacob. Yeah. Man, I miss Tama Tonga. Yeah. I miss that dude. I'm excited about the match, actually. I think the match is going to be really good. Now that the dynamics are in the right place. Would you guys be upset if Jacob lost the belt next Saturday? I think he needs to. I think Solo needs to beat him, and then Jacob could win it right back at SummerSlam. I think he needs to lose the belt. I love Jacob. I think Jacob's great. I love the fact that he is becoming the main event player that we all know he should be. But for this storyline to really get legs, for this feud to have legs, he needs to lose that belt. And he'll lose it because of interference from Hikuleo. So he'll be protected. But we'll see. Someone just said Jacob doesn't need the title. 100%. Jacob doesn't need the title. He doesn't. All right. I think we're ready to go to the main event scene. So, the main event was John Cena versus R-Truth. They're calling him R-Truth again. Before he was called Ron the Truth Killings. Now he's R-Truth. I don't know if they made up their minds on what they're going to call him. I'm calling him Ron Killings. Regardless, John Cena and him had a match. And the match was a match. It was alright. John Cena, when he loses by DQ, actually, because he hits R-Truth with the world title. So, whatever. It's to protect R-Truth, but also keep him involved in the storyline. Because he's supposed to be a thorn in John Cena's side. How about that? But that doesn't matter, because that's not what you're here for. So, after losing the match by DQ, He goes to hit R-Truth with the belt again, and then we hear CM Punk. CM Punk comes out, runs John Cena to the ring, and then John Cena low blows him, knocks him out with the belt twice, gets a table, slides it inside the ring, and then hits the FU. I'm not calling it the attitude adjustment. Hits the FU through the table. Now, at this point, I looked at the clock and I went, there's like 15 minutes left. There's a lot of time left on SmackDown. What are they going to do? Is like a big segment about to happen? And then I saw John Cena grab a microphone. I saw him sit on the turnbuckle. And I saw CM Punk laying in the table, laying in the rubble. And I said to myself, no. He's not about to cut a pipe bomb. And then John Cena said the following words. That man said, as you lay there as uncomfortable as you could possibly be, CM Punk, I have some things I want to get off my chest. I said, God damn it. He is about to reenact the CM Punk pipe bomb. And oh my God. Wild. This entire promo was incredible. I don't even know where to begin. He literally went beat for beat. He says he doesn't hate him. He doesn't even dislike him. He likes Punk a lot more than people in the back. He hates this idea that he's the best in the world. Because he's not. I'm the best. I'm the greatest of all time. Literally the same promo. And he says, there's one thing that you're better at than I am. And that's kissing Vince. No, he didn't say that part. He says he's being a bullshitter in the world of wrestling. And they didn't bleep it. John Cena said bullshitter. And they just let it go. And I'm like, yo, what? And then John Cena's like, hey kids, I'm cussing. I'm breaking the fourth wall, like CM Punk did. Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall. And then he says he's jealous of CM Punk because he's convinced people of this myth. And they chant for him, they sing for him. But they don't believe a goddamn word he says. Because he changes his values as much as Cena changes his t-shirts. God damn. And then the big one, the one that made people lose their minds, just like when CM Punk dropped Paul Heyman, dropped Hulk Hogan, dropped Brock Lesnar in 2011, which was crazy, and then he dropped Colt Cabana. John Cena dropped Claudio Castagnoli. He says he's just a loudmouth opportunist who steps on the necks of people who are just working hard. Like Claudio Castagnoli. Like Nick Nemeth. Like Matt Cardona. I was like, oh my God. Please don't say Kenny Omega. Is he gonna say Kenny and the young... Yo, guys. When he was dropping Claudio, I was like, oh my God, he's going to say Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He didn't. But I swear to God, I was like, he's going to say Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I'm shocked he didn't. He said Claudio. I'm like, fuck it. Go there. He probably would have gotten in trouble. What am I talking about? It's John Cena. He wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But I'm not gonna lie, and I can't be the only one that thought, "Oh my God, he's gonna mention the scrum, the media scrum." He didn't. Although he referenced, him being a hothead backstage. He said that Punk is no longer the voice of the voiceless. He's a millionaire despite himself. He's not a punk. He's a capitalist. He's not anti-TKO. He's Mr. TKO. Yo! That was a bar right there. That was a crazy bar by him. He says Punk's tweets are strong, but his actions are weak. And in Saudi Arabia, he's going to face some loud music when Cena proves that he's always been the greatest of all time. And the crowd, at this point, crowd's cheering for Cena. They completely bought into it. They're chanting Cena. He's the face now. Crazy stuff. And he says, you are the best in the world for 7 minutes 14 years ago. And if after Night of Champions, he's still delusional enough to think that he's the best in the world, well, it's a small world after all. Wow. And then he essentially ends his promo by saying, I don't need no extra 2 minutes. And then he got the hell out of there. What did he say? Let me get this right. He says, he tells USA to keep the extra 2.5 minutes because he doesn't need a pipe bomb to censor this mother fudging building. I can't find what he actually said. He thanks Punk for letting him rip off his promo to expose him and drops the mic. I keep telling y'all this is the best work that John Cena has been doing. And I keep saying, I've been the main one up here saying, when it's all said and done, all you people, all you critics out there saying, this heel turn is garbage. This heel turn doesn't work. By the end of it, when it's all said and done, when John Cena says, see you later, you can't see me, and calls it a day, all of you are going to flip. You're all going to flip, and you're all going to start praising the shit out of this run. Because you're mad at The Rock. You're mad at The Rock that he did not show up at WrestleMania. Rightfully so. That doesn't mean that John Cena's run is garbage. Get over it. Get over the fact that The Rock didn't show up at WrestleMania. It happened. Yes, it sucked. Yes, he gave you hope that at Chamber you were going to get something special, and you didn't get it. I'm sorry. Blame The Rock. Don't use that to shit on a great run. What is objectively, factually, a great run with John Cena as a heel? Because look at what he's doing. Look at the intrigue he's bringing. Look who he's elevating. Fucking Ron Killings, R-Truth, is in the discussion to be a world champion. R-Truth? Roman Reigns couldn't make that shit work. But John Cena did. There are more people right now on Twitter begging for R-Truth to be a world champion, to be the one to end John Cena's reign. I'm one of them. Cena's doing great work. I think he's a better champion than Cody was. As a heel, at least. And I'm so happy. You know what? We keep talking about John Cena should be ending his run as a babyface. I'm so happy he's not a babyface, because if he was a babyface, oh my god, it'd be so boring. I'm sorry. I think, ultimately speaking, this idea that John should be ending his run as a babyface, what would you have him do? Let me ask you guys that. If he was a babyface, what would be the story? He wouldn't be winning his matches, he would be losing. He would be coming in to put people over and just losing left and right. Why would you want that? Don't you want a dominant run with him as a heel, but also do it in a way that elevates the roster around him? I'm going to keep saying it. Ending his career as a heel was the right move. You could be mad at the fact that The Rock didn't show up, and that's absolutely fine. I will go to war with every single personality here in the IWC, and I will debate them night and day. I'll even debate my good friends, A&B Combos, Marked by Wrestling. I'll debate JD from NY. I'll debate Solid Monster. I'll debate Wrestling Observer. I'll debate all you mother. This is a great run for John Cena. And they'll all be saying it. Every single one of those people that I named, by the end of his run, when it's time for him to say goodbye, they're going to turn around and be like, yeah, you know what? We changed our mind. That was a good run. It was a good run. Just give it some time. So, I'm excited to see where we go with John Cena now. Because next week he's going to be fighting CM Punk. But who's he going to fight for Night of Champions? Well, not Night of Champions. Saturday night's main event. And clearly he's going to fight Cody Rhodes for SummerSlam. So we're going to see how that works. Here's what I'm looking forward to. Monday. Because Monday is CM Punk's turn to cut his pipe bomb. Now, I have no idea what CM Punk is going to say on Monday. But I have a feeling Cena just gave him a lot of material. Gave him a lot of material to work with. He called him a sellout. He said that you're a millionaire. You're not an anti-TKO. You're Mr. TKO. So I'm very curious to see how CM Punk is able to flip this, is able to take this, quite frankly, and mold it into something that we're going to remember. Because I personally feel like the match that should have been done
Hold up, why we catchin' strays lol JK. We'll definitely talk about Cena in the end.
Look, y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. But you know what I mean. Like, I'll be on this island alone. I'll be on this island by myself if I had to, but I will stand by what I mean. That CM Punk pipe bomb on Monday, is going to be something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. So, yeah, man, like, again, SmackDown tonight, ultimately, half and half. Half and half. Half of it was great. The other half, not so great. And I think when we get to 2 hours, we'll probably end up getting better episodes. More digestible episodes. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching me talk about SmackDown. I am now going to turn things over to the live chat. You guys now have the floor. How you feeling about all the stories we got going on so far? How we feeling about Cena, Punk, Sami losing, Randy versus Cody, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, Asuka versus Jade, the stuff with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton? What are your grades for tonight's show anyways? How do I feel about Cedric Alexander debuting on TNA? I did see that. Well, since TNA is in partnership with WWE, he didn't necessarily go anywhere. Even though, yes, he's in a different company, not really. Because, let's just be real, at this point, TNA is another extension of WWE. Honestly, it is. TNA is another extension of WWE. Who's the TNA World Champion right now? Trick Williams. So, like, Cedric got fired, and then he ended up at the other promotion that is in partnership. So he might actually just still be used on NXT TV. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Let me see here. Ooh, these grades are low. GameShot gave it a 6 out of 10. Trey Lucado gave it a 6.75 out of 10. JJ Bulldog gave it a 7 out of 10. Devon Standifer gave it a 7 out of 10. Jory Donald gave it a 7 out of 10. Cross 306 gave it a 7 out of 10. Wow. Yeah, just average scores. Yeah, that feels about right. Honestly, if I was to give it a grade, maybe C+. C+. I'm actually going back here. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Jack Dempsey. I believe in Jack Dempsey. Keone. What's up, Keone? I can't wait for Goldberg to squash Gunther in 2 minutes. He's not going to squash Gunther. Gunther's going to win. Let me see here. Triple H is very high on Jade. Shit. Look, as much as I would love to see Asuka take on Io Sky, they're gonna have to do it another way because Jay's not losing. I doubt Jay is going to be losing anytime soon. I think she's on her way to being a women's champion by the time we get to SummerSlam. Michan and BFAB not ready to win the tag team belt. Can we not? Can we not give those tag team belts to anybody right now? Them belts are cursed. I'm almost scared for Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez. Because Raquel has a history of hurting herself too. I know how some people feel about Sami losing, but this Randy Orton, he can't lose. You say he can't lose, but he's going to lose against Cody Rhodes at Night of Champions. So, yeah, I think he is going to lose. Am I sure that the feud between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton will end next Friday? It better! It's already overstayed its welcome. A&B combos. Oh, gas! No! Let me try that again. Sorry. Oh, gas! No breaks with it. Yeah, I mean. Love it. They're gonna do the Street Profits versus the White Six next Friday for the tag team belts. All right, let's see how that goes. Yeah, John Cena's pipe bomb promo was incredible. How the tables have turned. That boy said the names of Matt Cardona and Claudio Castagnoli. When I heard that, I said, Punk, your next promo better be something incredible. C plus felt like AEW Double or Nothing. Oof. It felt like Dynasty for me. Dynasty was. Game Shot. Jacob Fatu 2 has been a badass in MLW 2 when he was the longest MLW World Champion at 820 days, and he ran his own faction called Contra Unit from 2019 to 2021. All right. Didn't know that. Did not know that at all. Let me see here. I thought Cena was going to hang. Man, if John Cena had name dropped Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, I would have been like, oh my god. That would have nuked me. Don't you put that AEW evil on us, Ricky Bobby. Yes, I know Cedric Alexander is in TNA. I know. Dylan Danger, what you mean this version of Randy Orton can't lose? The version of Randy Orton already lost to John Cena. I know. That's what I mean. It's like, it would have just been better for Sami to win, honestly. I still say that. If he had name dropped MJF, Tony Khan would have jizzed wherever he was. He would have just instantly jizzed. It would have been incredible. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and cut it off here. That was me talking about SmackDown. How we feel about this format? Do you guys like this format better than me trying to review the show? Like, I'm just talking about what I saw, but also getting into the stories and what we're dealing with here. So, how y'all feel about this new format? We liking it? I'm still trying to figure out the ways we can go about it, trying to work out the kinks. But you let me know in the comments down below. But as always, thank you all for joining me here. Do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cashapp, and Venmo. I love you all, and I'll bid you all adieu. This is Just Alex signing out right here in Alex's world. The place I did was and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm out. Peace. When you're when you're